Welcome to MetalVice in 666. I'm your host, Brian, joined the other host,
Karen.
And this episode's a little bit different for 666 because our camera died.
Yeah, the memory, something happened. It got corrupt or something.
Yeah, the video, it didn't work. This has happened before to us in the past. Not quite sure what happened, but whatever. The video is lost. So the audio, we still have that. We liked the conversation.
We did, yeah.
It felt genuine.
Yeah, it's hard to recreate something that just off the fly like that. And we don't want to be like fake on like,
yeah,
well, we like this because of this or whatever.
So in any case, we're going to cut over to that audio. We're going to see like mainly the logo up, but also we're probably going to throw in some concert photos from some of the shows that we just announced, or not announced, but
that we talked about.
that we talked about during the episode. So we'll probably just do like a little slideshow there of all that. So in any case, a little bit of a different from like a video or audio, a visual component of the episode, but
you won't see our faces. You'll see other images.
Yeah, other images. So hopefully you enjoy. So take it away, past Brian and Karen. Welcome to MetalVice in 666. I'm your host, Brian, joined the other host,
Karen.
and we are going to talk about album in full tours. So we've been to a few of these shows in the past. You're actually wearing Ashes of Leviathan, where Lamb of God
did that on purpose,
and Mastodon played their two most, I would argue, their two greatest albums between the two bands, Ashes of the Wake and Leviathan, from Lamb of God and Mastodon, respectively. And
they both came out on the same day.
They both came out on the same day. It was an awesome tour, and I love both of those albums. Now, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of album in full tours because it kind of takes away from the mystique of
what are they playing next?
Yeah, because especially if they play it in order, which a lot of times they do play it in order. We saw Danzig play, I can't remember what tour that was, but
I don't remember. Yeah, it was a few years ago.
Yeah, but he shifted it up. He didn't do it in order. So that was really cool.
But he did make a comment. He's like, if you've been counting, we have 2 songs left.
Right,
so,
right.
Because it wasn't like track 1 to track 10 or track 12 or whatever it was. It was all over the place. So
yeah, Lamb of God did play, I think, like 1 or 2 extra songs.
Yes.
I think Mastodon did too. I can't remember. But we've been to somewhere it's just we play the album and we're done. Whitechapel did this with, I think, The Valley in full.
Yep.
And then
I think they were doing the Kin recently.
Well, they did their newest album last year.
Oh, they did. Yeah. Yeah.
And I saw that typically when bands do these albums in full, it's for like big anniversaries. So this was the 20th anniversary of Lamb of God and Mastodon. Yep. Disturbed did The Sickness.
Yeah, for 25 years.
But they did 2 sets. They did the album in full, took a little break, and then came out and did the greatest hits, which I loved that sort of structure much better than just playing the album and getting off. So yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, I liked The Valley in full though when we saw Whitechapel. I really liked that album. It was, well, The Kin's the album that really got me into Whitechapel, but probably The Valley is the album that I've listened to the most out of them. So there's a lot of songs on there that I really, really like. So, and there's some songs on there that we probably will never hear live again, unless they do something like that. So I really, really enjoyed that. But going into a band like Poison the Well, we saw do an album in full. I don't know their music. So to me, it didn't really matter if it was an album or not.
That's fair.
But we didn't get to hear, quote unquote, the greatest hits or like the normal tour stuff because they played that album.
That's a good point. You made 2 good points there. The first one being you really like that album.
Yeah.
Our friend Jerry, who we went to go see Danzig with, said the same thing. He's like, well, what if you really like the album? And I was like, I guess that kind of makes sense. But at the same time.
And he did know the song. Like he was counting the songs and he knew the songs and that sort of thing.
But then again, it's taking away that structure. You know what songs are left,
Yeah.
And then you don't know if they're going to play more songs or not, or just be done.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And what was the other point you made that was really good?
Oh, if you don't know the album, then you don't hear like their greatest hits or whatever.
Right. Which Poison the Well was that way for me. We just saw like it was on one like the metal publications, like Poison the Well's in town. Like I've never heard them. Let me go check out their show. And yeah, same thing. I don't know these songs. I don't know what's next. But if I did, maybe that would take away the mystique for me.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was saying is that like a lot of these shows like this is the 20th anniversary. Disturbed was the 25th anniversary. With Whitechapel playing their new album in full, the album just came out that year.
Yeah.
last year. And I was like, why the fuck are you already doing this?
I mean, it
And-
was their second tour of the year, so maybe that was their way of being like, if you came to see us on the first one, you'll come back out, sort of thing.
And that's sort of what made me think about doing this episode as a 666 is because Lamb of God announced their tour before they announced their new album, Into Oblivion, that's coming out here in a few weeks, I think.
Yeah.
And I was scrolling through like Reddit in the comments, and somebody said, well, unless it's a new album, I'm not going to go. I just saw them. It's going to be the same set
Yeah.
list I already saw. And for the most part, Lamb of God has a pretty standard structured
Oh, yeah, they
set
do.
list.
Yeah. And we've said that so many times where like a Lamb of God show is a Lamb of God show. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't care. We'll go see it, but not everybody is like that. Not
Yeah.
everybody wants to spend the money to go see a show they've already seen.
Yeah.
So that's where, when I saw Whitechapel doing their new album, I was like, oh shit, this is how you tour again and again and again and get people to come out by saying, I'm going to play this album in full. And like you said, there's songs on there that you may not have heard live ever, and you might not ever hear live again. So it gives people a reason to go see your show again. So I think that's why we're seeing a lot of album in full tours. I feel like there's been more and more and more lately, and I keep seeing them getting announced, and I'm like, I'm starting to get away from like my dislike for them. I do enjoy them a little bit more now, but I understand now also why I think there's so many of them out there. So that's just my little take on that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess for me, like I said, like Whitechapel, it was a lot of fun to see that. Disturbed, it was fun to see The Sickness in full. However, I do like how they did other songs afterwards. And you're right, like it could just be a 45-minute set. Like you don't know. Slipknot, it was a 45-minute set.
Yeah.
When they did.
And people were bitching about that. And I get why they're bitching about that. It's you're playing your self-titled album, your first one, which is awesome. We're hearing songs we've never heard before. But then it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I paid how much money for a 45-minute? Like, that's the other thing. You pay a lot of money.
So basically, we're indifferent about album in full. I think if you really like the album, it's good. If you don't know the band, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know what's coming next.
Yeah.
But you are right on if it's an album that you know and they're playing it from start to finish, you know what the next song is.
Yeah.
So.
We've already said enough about this. Your wrap-up was perfect.
Okay.
In any case, it's live music.
It is, yeah.
It's still a blast to go and see live music. Even if you know, at the end of the day, like I leave in like, oh, I knew exactly what song was next and they stopped playing. It, like at the moment I might be a little frustrated with it, but it's not going to be like, oh my God, that show is the worst show ever. It's live music. Live music's fucking awesome. It's an amazing experience. So album full or not, like I would go see live music anytime. So I guess what I'm saying is get out there and see some live music.
Bye.